Alright, let's dive straight into the numbers behind Burna Boy's latest album, No Sign of Weakness. The anticipation for this project was sky high, with fans and critics alike eager to see if Burna could continue his streak of global dominance. When I first saw the hype building up, I thought, surely Burna Boy's about to smash more records and set new standards for Afrobeats on the world stage. The energy outside his album launch events was electric, with fans lining up for hours just to get their hands on the new music. And to be fair, he kind of did, but not in the way most of us expected. The initial reactions were a mix of excitement and curiosity, with everyone waiting to see how the numbers would stack up. The album made a strong entrance on the Billboard World Albums chart, grabbing the #3 spot right out of the gate. That's a major achievement, especially considering the competition from global artists across genres. That's actually his 5th time landing on this chart, which is wild if you think about it. Few artists from Africa have managed to be this consistent on the world stage, and Burna's track record is nothing short of impressive. He's basically a regular at this point, a fixture on charts that many artists only dream of reaching. But here's where things get a bit sticky. On the Billboard 200, the main chart that really shows an album's global muscle, No Sign of Weakness, crept in at #200. That's the very last spot, and it's a surprising placement for an artist of Burna's stature. That's with 8.8 thousand units sold in the debut week. For context, his previous albums have pulled in much higher numbers, so this is a noticeable dip. Now, for a lot of artists, just making the Billboard 200 is huge. It's a sign you've broken into the mainstream, even if just barely. But for Burna Boy, this is actually his lowest debut ever on that chart. It's a tough pill to swallow for someone who's used to making headlines for breaking records, not setting new lows. In fact, it's the lowest debut for any Nigerian album on the Billboard 200. That's a pretty harsh stat, especially given how much Nigerian music has been dominating global conversations lately. That's a pretty harsh stat. It's a reminder that even the biggest stars can face setbacks. So what happened? Well, let's be honest. The reception just hasn't been as electric as his previous releases. The reviews have been mixed, with some praising the experimentation and others missing the signature Burna Boy energy. Remember when Love, Damini dropped? That one cracked the top 20, making waves not just in Africa but all over the world. The singles were everywhere, and the album felt like a cultural moment. And African Giant, that was everywhere. It was the soundtrack to parties, radio shows, and even international award shows. Burna was on top of the world. With No Sign of Weakness, the buzz just hasn't hit the same levels. The launch events were quieter, and the social media chatter faded faster than usual. Here's the irony. The album's called No Sign of Weakness, but the charts are saying otherwise. It's a tough look for an artist who's built his brand on strength and resilience. It's a bit of a contradiction. The name promises strength, but the numbers hint at something softer. It's almost poetic, in a way, how the title and the stats are at odds. Now, I'm not saying Burna's losing his touch. He's still one of the biggest names out of Africa, and his influence is massive. His music continues to inspire and connect people across continents, and his legacy is already cemented. But this album's stats, they're a reminder that even the biggest artists can't guarantee a hit every time. The music industry is unpredictable, and sometimes even the most anticipated projects don't land as expected. So, is No Sign of Weakness a hit or miss? Chart-wise, it's somewhere in the middle. It's not a total flop, but it's not the runaway success many predicted either. A new milestone on one chart, a record low on another. It's a story of highs and lows, and it shows just how quickly the music landscape can shift. If anything, this just shows that even the best can have an off day, and that's what keeps the charts interesting. Every release is a gamble, and that unpredictability is what makes following music so exciting. I'll be watching to see how Burna bounces back next time. If history is any guide, he's not one to stay down for long. Let me know, did you rate the album or did it miss the mark for you? Maybe you found some hidden gems on the track list, or maybe you're still waiting for that next big Burna Boy anthem. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to see how the fans feel about this one.